lost me with that, Slugger.
String space fractals. They're only theory in underground e-journals, but the hand must have them. Borrows a notion from physics. The compression program creates an ancillary notional dimension in the memory manager and calls data from there when it needs it. Makes a system's memory potentially limitless.
And that rules out any memory overwriting bugs.
Keep in mind that the ICE systems are prohibitively redundant and thorough. Anything you can make here with these machines wouldn't get very far in hell. As a practical matter, I'm not certain the system is crashable.
Nonsense. We just need inspiration and a case of yoo-hoo. Hey, what about a virus that attaches itself to graphics libraries and overwrites images? The system could crash when it can't find an image it needs.
The crash would only be localized. That's essentially what happened when I first contacted Rachel and Gideon.
They've obviously got a lot to talk about. We'll check back with you guys, but hurry. We haven't much time.
Deep Throat's got data on Satan and what we have to do to get Towns and Ellers away from him.
Yes, well, keep in mind that most of the demons you've encountered to this point are entirely computer-generated. However, the major demons, Belial, Mephisto, and Beelzebub, are C-space representations of real people, Solok's chief torturers. When you fight Belial, or one of the others, you're really fighting a human whose mind is also linked to the Hell system. And once you have rescued all of the prisoners in a major demon's hell pit, you'll have to battle that demon to the death. Belial, Beelzebub, Mephisto, you'll have to defeat them all before you can reach Satan. Even then, you must penetrate the ice protecting Satan's lair. That ice has the form of Cerberus, a three-headed hellhound. Cerberus will only allow Belial, Beelzebub, and Mephisto to pass. You'll have to figure a way around Cerberus. When you reach the gates to Satan's lair, you'll need to enter the proper password to advance. I've no idea what that password is. Once you've done all of that, Satan will be waiting. Really, I must say that the odds of your surviving are not good.
It's not like we have any choice. Ellers has to be freed, and if we can off Solix in the bargain, well, that's something worth risking our lives over.
What do you make of that note we gave you? We got it from Massimo the Mad.
It's tough to read. This guy writes like he has the palsy. It's a computer algorithm of some kind. What's it for?
We don't know. Massimo seemed to think it could help us defeat Satan, but damned if we can see how.
It is a computer algorithm, and it's definitely C-space code. Let me see your psychopomp. I'm downloading the algorithm into the psycho. Massimo said this will allow you to defeat Satan. Let's take him at his word. Solix has no doubt rigged every combat so that you can't beat him. Massimo's program just might even the odds. Give you a shot at defeating Satan.
Well then, we're ready for the Androgyne. I wish I could see Solix's face when the giant discovers it's involved in a fair fight.
You folks come up with anything yet?
I think we're onto something here. We can devise a program that when interjected into the Hell system under the correct conditions will cause it to crash. The programming won't even be that difficult. Well, a little tricky in spots, but the hard part, the dangerous part, your part, Gideon and Rachel, will be ensuring its delivery.
I don't get it. Portability's the problem?
Yeah, for starters, you'll have to introduce the crash program directly into the main computer generating the Hell system, and we don't even know where that's located.
Deep Throat, any clue?
As I've mentioned, I've never been there. All of my contact with the main room was through the tube system. I couldn't even email or modem the main system. I had to download everything to disks and send them through the tube system to an address Miraculum Sepulchrum.
First things first. Tell us about this crash program and what you need from us.
We have to attack the very heart of the Hell system, the spawner program that generates the various pits and lairs in Hell. If we were familiar with the Hell code and had hardware even close to cutting edge, we might be able to program a bug that would find the spawner on its own. But we don't have those things, so here's where you two come in. As the Actidec proved, human minds and computer code can interact freely. A brain with psionic abilities is potentially extremely potent when linked with computer code. The first thing you need to do is find a psionic who's willing to cooperate. We use the psychopomp to scan and download data imprints of his psychic energies and then embed those energies with our Crashbug's code.
Problem number 1 solved, then.
Okay. The psionic will enable us to make a crash program that will not only be nearly sentient, but will be able to sense and avoid ice systems before it encounters them, thus giving it a chance of making it to its target, the Hell Spawner program. The spawner is the second problem. Right now we're completely ignorant of the code structure. Before we can send in a crash bug, we need to launch a survey program into the code generating an individual hell pit. The survey bug will trace the code back to the spawner. Again, because of our technical shortcomings, the survey bug will need to be escorted through cyberspace by a human presence. You two have more experience with Hell Sea-Space than anyone else we have.
So, then we need a psionic. Then, either Rachel or I need to deck into Sea-Space and find this spawner program. Once we have the location of the spawner, Rach and I have to find the Hell computer room in the Pentagon, find some way to disable the people working there, and then inject the crash bug into the computer system. Gee, anything else?
Look, we're doing the job on this hand crash bug. What else could you want from us?
We've drawn a bead on the rest of them. Brett Carew, the playwright, is chained inside a hellish replica of a steel mill. Former Treasury Secretary Walker Dash is being tormented by the demon Atroxus in a searing desert plain. Randall Singh, one of the CFF's leaders, is being tortured in a hell version of a schoolroom. Finally, and most disturbing, is that Townsend Ellers, the CFF's foremost military tactician, is being held by Satan himself. From what we've been able to dope out about Hell's structures, it's divided into 3 large territories, each ruled by a major demon: Belial, Mephisto, and Beelzebub, each of whom has a sanctum or lair for their own use. Each lair is surrounded by hell pits, like the ones you've been working through. You can only go so deep into the hell pits before you have to confront Satan or one of the major demons.
It looks like a fairly typical old-fashioned steel mill, of the type that used to surround the great American city of Pittsburgh in the heat of the industrial age. The only thing is, even the most despotic of steel magnates never chained someone beneath the overspill of the molten steel. Not on purpose, anyway. Acclaimed mystery writer turned activist Brett Carew is chained beneath a cauldron of molten steel. The superheated metal periodically pours over her.
You're Brett Carey, aren't you? I recognize the photos from the ARC Most Wanted list.
This is burning me bad enough to kill. Except the Tiamat, the Lord of Minotaurs, won't let me die.
Baphomet? That'd be the demon who rigged this torture. We'll see about setting you free.
Hurry it up! Doesn't take a detective to figure that this hurts.
Large gears grind and turn and cause the molten steel to pour onto Brett Carew. Close inspection reveals that this is no walking staff. It's sharpened at one end and is more clearly an instrument of torture.